Yom 2, reading the Whole Caphar in the 50th year of Yubal, 2022 through 2023. Yubalym, chapter 4. And in the third week, in the second Jubilee, she gave birth to Cain. And in the fourth, she gave birth to Yubal. And in the fifth, she gave birth to her daughter Awan. And in the first year of the third Jubilee, Cain slew Yubal, because Elohim accepted the sacrifice of Yubal, and did not accept the offering of Cain. And he slew him in the field, and his blood cried from the ground to Shamayim, complaining because he had slain him. And Yahuwah reproved Cain because of Yubal, because he had slain him, and he made him a fugitive on the earth, because of the blood of his brother, and he cursed him upon the earth. And on this account it is written on the Shamayim tablets, Cursed is he who smites his neighbor treacherously, and let all who have seen and heard say, So be it. And the man who has seen and not declared it, let him be accursed as the other. And for this reason we announce, when we come before Yahuwah Eloheinu, all the sin which is committed in Shamayim, and on earth, and in light, and in darkness, and everywhere. And Adam and his woman mourned for Yubal 4 weeks of years. And in the fourth year of the 5th week they became joyful. And Adam knew his woman again, and she bore him a bond, and he called his name Shat. For he said, Yahuwah has raised up a second seed unto us on the earth instead of Yubal, for Cain slew him. And in the 6th week he begat his daughter Azurah. And Cain took Awan his sister to be his woman, and she bore him Hanuk, at the close of the 4th Jubilee. And in the first year of the 1st week of the 5th Jubilee, houses were built on the earth. And Cain built a city, and called its name after the name of his bond Hanuk. And Adam knew Hua, his woman, and she bore yet 9 banim. And in the 5th week of the 5th Jubilee, Shat took Azurah, his sister, to be his woman. And in the 4th year of the 6th week, she bore him Anush. He began to call on the name of Yahuwah on the earth. And in the 7th Jubilee, in the 3rd week, Anush took Nuam, his sister, to be his woman, and she bore him a bond in the 3rd year of the 5th week, and he called his name Canaan. And at the close of the 8th Jubilee, Canaan took Mahuleleth, his sister, to be his woman, and she bore him a bond in the 9th Jubilee, in the 1st week, in the 3rd year of this week, and he called his name Mahalalel. And in the 2nd week of the 10th Jubilee, Mahalalel took unto him to be his woman Dinah, the daughter of Barakiyal, the daughter of his father's brother, and she bore him a bond in the 3rd week, in the 6th year, and he called his name Yarad. For in his days the Malachim of Yahuwah descended on the earth. Those who are named the Watchers, that they should instruct the children of men, and that they should do judgment and uprightness on the earth. And in the 11th Jubilee, Yarad took to himself a woman, and her name was Baraka, the daughter of Razuyal, a daughter of his father's brother, in the 4th week of this Jubilee, Yubal. And she bore him a bond in the 5th week, in the 4th year of the Yubal, and he called his name Hanuk. And he was the first among men that are born on the earth, who learned writing and knowledge, and wisdom, and who wrote down the signs of Shamayim according to the order of their months in a Sephar, that men might know the seasons of the years according to the order of their separate months. And he was the first to write a testimony, and he testified to the banim of men among the generations of the earth, and recounted the weeks of the Jubilees, and made known to them the days of the years, and set in order the months, and recounted the Sabbaths, the Shabbats of the years, as well as we made them known to him. And what was and what will be, he saw in a vision of his sleep, as it will happen to the children of men throughout their generations until the day of judgment. He saw and understood everything, and wrote his testimony, and placed the testimony on earth for all the children of men and for their generations. And in the 12th Yubal, in the 7th week thereof, he took to himself a woman, and her name was Adnah, the daughter of Danal, the daughter of his father's brother. And in the 6th year, in this week, she bore him a bond, and he called his name Matushalach. And he was moreover with Malachim of Alahim 6 Yubalym of years. And they showed him everything which is on earth, and in the Shamayim, the rule of the sun, and he wrote down everything. And he testified to the watchers who had sinned with the daughters of men, for these had begun to unite themselves so as to be defiled with the daughters of men, and Hanuk testified against them all. And he was taken from amongst the children of men, and we conducted him into the garden of Adan in majesty and honor. And behold, there he writes down the condemnation and judgment of the world, and all the wickedness of the children of men. And on account of it, Elohim brought the waters of the flood upon all the land of Eden, for there he was set as a sign, and that he should testify against all the children of men, that he should recount all the deeds of the generations until the day of condemnation. And he burnt in the incense of sanctuary, even sweet spices, acceptable before Yahuwah on the mounts. For Yahuwah has 4 places on the earth, the garden of Adan, and the mount of the east, and this mountain on which you are this day, Mount Sinai, and Mount Sion, which will be sanctified in the new creation for a sanctification of the earth. Through it will the earth be sanctified from all its guilt and its uncleanness throughout the generations of the world. And in the 14th Jubilee, Matushalach took unto himself a woman, Adnah, the daughter of Azriel, the daughter of his father's brother, in the 3rd week, in the 1st year of this week, and he begat a ban, and called his name Lamach. And in the 15th Jubilee, in the 3rd week of Lamach, took to himself a woman, and her name was Betenos, the daughter of Barakiel, the daughter of his father's brother. And in this week she bore him a ban, and he called his name Nuach, saying, This one will comfort me for my trouble and all my work, and for the ground which Yahuwah has cursed. And at the close of the 19th Jubilee, in the 7th week, in the 6th year thereof, Adam died, and all his banim buried him in the land of his creation, and he was the first to be buried in the earth. And he lacked 70 years of 1,000 years, for 1,000 years are as one day in the testimony of the Shamayim, Therefore was it written concerning the tree of knowledge, on the day that ye eat thereof ye shall die. For this reason he did not complete the years of this day, for he died during it. At the close of this Yubal, Cain was killed after him in the same year, for his house fell upon him, and he died in the midst of his house, and he was killed by its stones. For with a stone he had killed Jabal, and by a stone was he killed in righteous judgment. For this reason it was ordained on the Shamaim tablets, with the instruments with which a man kills his neighbor, with the same instrument he be killed, after the manner that he wounded him. In like manner shall they deal with him. And in the 25th Yubal, Noach took to himself a woman, and her name was Amzara, the daughter of Rakaal, the daughter of his father's brother, in the first year, in the 5th week, and in the 3rd year thereof she bore him Sham. In the 5th year thereof she bore him Ham. And in the 1st year of the 6th week she bore him Japheth. Genesis, Bereshit, chapters 3 through 5. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahuwah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, has Elohim said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the tree, of the fruit of the tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim has said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For Elohim knows that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and shall be as Elohim, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired, to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her man with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of Yahuwah Elohim, walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And the man and his woman hid themselves from the presence of Yahuwah Elohim amongst the trees of the garden. And Yahuwah Elohim called unto Adam, and said unto him, Where are you? And he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree whereof I commanded you that you should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And Yahuwah Elohim said unto the woman, What is this you have done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And Yahuwah Elohim said unto the serpent, Because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon your belly you shall go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your chai. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In sorrow you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be to your man, and he shall rule over you. And unto Adam he said, Because you have hearkened unto the voice of your woman, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, You shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your high. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, till you return unto the ground. For out of it you were taken. For dust you are, and unto dust you shall return. And Adam called his woman's name Hua, because she was the mother of all living. And unto Adam also and to his woman did Yahuwah Elohim make coats of skin, and clothe them. And Yahuwah Elohim said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of high, and eat and live forever. Therefore Yahuwah Elohim sent him forth from the garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he was placed at the east of the garden of Eden, cherubim and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way of the tree of Chai. Genesis chapter 4. And Adam knew Hua his woman, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahuwah. And she again bore his brother Habal. And Habal was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought forth of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahuwah. And Habal he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And Yahuwah had respect unto Habal and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And Yahuwah said unto Cain, Why are you wroth, and why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, shall you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and unto you shall be his desire, and you shall rule over him. And Cain talked with Habal his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Habal his brother, and slew him. And Yahuwah said unto Cain, Where is Habal your brother? And he said, I know not. Am I to guard my brother? And he said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries unto me from the ground. And now are you cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto you her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall you be in the earth. And Cain said unto Yahuwah, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from your face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that finds me shall slay me. And Yahuwah said unto him, Therefore, whosoever slays Cain, vengeance shall be taken upon him sevenfold. And Yahuwah set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of Yahuwah, and dwelt in the land of Nud, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his woman, and she conceived, and bore Hanuk. And he built a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his ban, Hanuk. Aban. And unto Hanuk was born Yerad, and Yerad begot Mahuyaal, and Mahuyaal begot Matushaal, and Matushaal begot Lamech. And Lamech took unto him 2 women. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah. And Adah bore Yawal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Yubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and flute. And Zillah, she also bore Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his women, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye women of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold. And Adam knew his woman again, and she bore a bond, and called his name Shat. For Elohim said, she has appointed me another seed instead of Habal, whom Cain slew. And to Shat, to him also there was born a bond, and he called his name Anush. Then began men to call upon the name of Yahuwah. Genesis chapter 5. This is the Safar of the generations of Adam, in the day that Elohim created man. In the likeness of Elohim made he him. Male and female created he them, and Baruch them, and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and begat a bond in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Shat. And then the days of Adam, after he had begotten Shat, were 800 years, and he begat Banim and daughters. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Shat lived 105 years, and begat Anush. And Shat lived after he begat Anush 807 years, and begat Banim and daughters. And all the days of Shat were 912 years, and he died. And Anush lived 90 years, and begat Canaan. And Anush lived after he begat Canaan 815 years, and begat Banim and daughters. And all the days of Anush were 905 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 70 years, and begat Mahalalel. And Canaan lived after he begat Mahalalel 840 years, and begat Banim and daughters. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 65 years, and begat 65 years, and begat Yarad. And Mahalalel lived after he begat Yarad 830 years, and begat Banim and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Yarad lived 162 years, and he begat Hanuk. And Yarad lived after he begat Hanuk 800 years, and begat Banim and daughters. And all the days of Yarad were 962 years, and he died. And Hanuk lived 65 years, and begat Matushalah. And Hanuk walked with Elohim after he begat Matushalah 300 years, and begat Banim and daughters. And all the days of Hanuk were 365 years, and Hanuk walked with Elohim, and he was not, for Elohim took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years, and begat Lamech. And Methuselah lived after he begat Lamech 782 years, and begat Banim and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years, and begat Banim, begat a Ban. And he called his name Nuach, saying, This same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which Yahuwah has cursed. And Lamech lived after he begat Nuach 595 years, and begat Banim and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Nuach was 500 years old, and Nuach begat Sham, Ham, and Japheth. Yashar, chapter 2 through 3. And it was in the 130th year of the high of Adam upon the earth, Adam, that he again knew Hua his woman, and she conceived and bore a ban in his likeness and in his image, and she called his name Shat, saying, Because Elohim has appointed me another seed in the place of Habal, for Cain has slain him. And Shat lived 105 years, and he begat a Ban, and Shat called the name of his Ban Anush, saying, Because in that time the Banim of men began to multiply, and to afflict their Napashim and hearts by transgressing and rebelling against Elohim. And it was in the days of Anush that the Banim of men continued to rebel and transgress against Elohim, to increase the anger of Yahuwah against the Banim of men. And the Banim of men went and they served other Elohim, and they forgot Yahuwah, who had created them in the earth. And in those days the Banim of men made images of brass and iron, wood and stone, and they bowed down and served them. And every man made his Elohim, and they bowed down to them. And the Banim of men forsook Yahuwah all the days of Anush and his children, and the anger of Yahuwah was kindled on account of their works and abominations which they did in the earth. And Yahuwah caused the waters of the river Gihon to overwhelm them, and he destroyed and consumed them, and he destroyed the third part of the earth. Notwithstanding this, the Banim of men did not turn from their evil ways, and their hands were yet extended to do evil in the sight of Yahuwah. Salah. And in those days there was neither sowing nor reaping in the earth, and there was no food for the Banim of men, and the famine was very great in those days. And the seed which they sowed in those days in the ground became thorns, thistles, and briars. For from the days of Adam was this declaration concerning the earth of the curse of Elohim, which he cursed the earth on account of the sin which Adam sinned before Yahuwah. And it was when men continued to rebel and transgress against Elohim, and to corrupt their ways, that the earth also became corrupt. And Anush lived 90 years, and he begat Canaan. And Canaan grew up, and he was 40 years old, and he became wise, and had knowledge, and skill in all wisdom, and he reigned over all the Banim of men, and he led the Banim of men to wisdom and knowledge, for Canaan was a very wise man, and he had understanding in all wisdom, and with his wisdom he ruled over Ruachut and devils. And Canaan knew by his wisdom that Elohim would destroy the Banim of men for having sinned upon the earth, and that Yahuwah would in the latter days bring upon them the waters of the flood. And in those days Canaan wrote upon tablets of stone what was to take place in time to come, and he put them in his treasures. And Canaan reigned over the whole earth, and he turned some of the Banim of men to the service of Elohim. And when Canaan was 70 years old,